welcome to Banter Such. I'm Brando.
And I'm Owen.
And today we are talking about Avatar, The Way of Water! And the first one a little bit.
And the first one a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit. We'll see. We'll see where it goes today. And today, we have a very special guest. We have a first-timer. I think it's actually been a while since we had a first-timer on the podcast. Chrisney Sears?
What are you doing?
Snickers. Chrisney Snickers Sneers.
That's right.
Yep.
That is his name.
Say hi, buddy.
Hey.
All right. You know the whole show is going to be like this, so just buckle up. All
Yeah,
right?
we're back from our break. Let's go.
All right, let's get into some BS.
So today we're talking about not Aang, not Korra, but the other Avatar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Oh, no. Oh, no.
But before
Did you watch the wrong show?
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Guys, sit tight.
Yeah,
For
we're talking
just,
about the new Earth
like
Avatar.
a few hours. I'll be right
Yeah.
back.
Well, this would be the water avatar.
This would be Korra. Yeah.
The way of the water
But before we get into all this Avatar talk, we got to give you a heads up on some stuff.
Yes. First of all, let me look at my notes. That's what we're talking about. Hey, check out theheliosnetwork.com. So we have merch on the website.
Yes.
Okay. We have great merch. We have
Great merch. Yes.
Wasted Truth t-shirts. We have Banter
Pins,
Such stickers.
stickers.
Yeah. All this amazing stuff.
Flavored
But
condoms.
we recently found out
Pasties.
that it wasn't working.
It's not working.
And so we're like, crap. So I don't know how many of you have tried to buy our merch, but we are in the process of fixing it.
Yes.
I'll probably have it fixed like
Wait, so the
soon.
pasties aren't working?
What
What happens?
The
Thankfully, I never want pasties to work.
The merch is
Okay.
working.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just not getting us the money.
And if you'd like
no.
to support the show and help us get this fixed faster, you can check out our Patreon. The link's in the show description. It supports us and the Helios Network as a whole. You get access to bonus banter, shout outs on some episodes, discounts on merch, and you can even suggest show topics.
All right. Like today's topic, which is James Cameron's Avatar, not M. Night Shyamalan's Avatar.
Thank God.
Just so everyone is clear.
So,
Starring Kong.
Chris Snickers Sneers,
Yep.
show us your receipts. Why are
Ahoy,
you on
hoy.
today's episode?
You guys are just running out of people. I
Yeah,
guess.
that's fair.
Probably
When
what
I
it
got
is.
the text
Yeah.
that it was going to be you, I was like, really?
Oh, shit.
This is the
This is what
scraping.
the bottom of the barrel looks like. Oh, God.
Yep. And I can tell you it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, there's a lot of dead fish down there that somehow we missed.
And, anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Just huge freaking nerd, I guess. I guess one thing comes to mind. Mr. Brando, if you remember the Star Wars trivia of 2007, where it was like an all day long
Oh,
thing.
yes.
Where you guys, were just at it all day, and then I casually walked in and just smoked everyone.
I'm in a room full of
embarrassed
people
everyone.
watching all 6 of the, before the sequel trilogy. We're watching all of them and we're quoting them back and forth. And we're just like, oh, yeah, I know more than you. I know more than you. This dude walks in halfway through that marathon and starts quoting sound effects.
This sounds
He starts
fun.
like obscure. I will say this true. And this is probably the reason why Chris is on here. Well, a lot of reasons. But he can quote you make any movie quote to any movie ever, and he will know it.
It's
Like, it
part
is
of my
weird.
autism.
It is strange, man. Like it like you say anything and he'll finish the quote or he'll know what it is.
Here's
Right.
looking at you, kid.
The Casablanca.
Wow. Yeah, okay, that's an easy one.
That was
That was an
that's
easy
reaching
one.
into black.
yeah,
But,
wow. Okay.
but it's crazy. Like, I've done this all the time. Like, I'll say a quote. And
Look
he'll
at
know-
you.
I mean, if you say it like that, it could be anything.
Look at
I
you!
guess-
Wait, sorry,
yeah,
hold on.
There we go. Elf.
All right, what about this one?
Okay, that brings me actually to my next receipt. I guess is for the last 2 years I've been sound guy for New York Comic Con, which is probably the coolest thing
Shit, that
I've
is
ever
pretty
done.
cool.
Yes.
And I will do that for as long as it even makes a little bit of sense.
You
for
saw
me to do it.
Ghostbusters like a month before it came out or something like that, or 2 months?
Yeah, he was
that
supposed to be
was
on the Ghostbusters
amazing.
episode.
Yes.
And I messed up.
Owen took the studio computer with him.
no.
And we walked in here. We're like, all right, let's do this episode. Ah, shit.
You know, I didn't want to just lead with talking shit about Owen,
Yeah.
but now that you guys have
Every
have
other guest
opened-
has started with that, so
Open
I
the
feel like
ghost
it's just on
trap,
par.
if you will.
Yeah.
Hey-o.
Hey,
Yeah. Sarah made ectoplasm shots for us
Ooh.
and it was ruined. It was just me and her drinking them at home that
Look.
night. So we had to
Oh, I'm
call
so sorry.
Whatever happened
Aw.
to
yeah, I mean, we had a
That
great
doesn't
time.
sound fun at all.
Whatever happens in your bedroom, pal. That's your business.
Yeah.
All right, so we saw this movie, and so this is a weird one, man, because the first movie was 13 years ago. It is one of the highest grossing movies of all time. It was a phenomenon, right? And then nothing for 13 years.
Yeah.
and
Actually,
now we
what
have
I
the
was reading
sequel.
was that it is actually still holds the title for like the lifespan of like how long it was on, like, you know, because
Oh,
they
like-
re-released it and
like
all
out
that
in
stuff.
theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like sitting close to like 3 billion now, which is
Well,
insane.
okay. So
Anyway, sorry.
I wanted to talk about that. I have a lot of notes today, but yeah, I mean, this is a phenomenon. This is
Yeah.
so currently, right now, Avatar: Way of Water is today. It was announced $1.7 billion
Already.
right now. Yes, already.
Shit.
It's $1.7 billion, right? It's currently the 7th highest grossing movie of all time. Of all
Chrissy,
time.
can you name the top 6?
Number one, Gone with the Wind.
I can. So
If
you're way off.
you adjust for inflation and
Yeah, right?
population.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. IMDb says
Hold on. Well, I did have the list. So here's the crazy. So it's on track to make $2 billion, right? That's what
Yeah.
they're saying. So only 5 movies have ever made more than $2 billion.
Okay. Endgame.
All right. Number 5 is Avengers Infinity War.
Infinity War. Yep.
Infinity War.
Mm.
Number 4 is Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Ugh.
Number
Hey, shut up.
3. Number 3 is Titanic,
Titanic. Yep.
and number 2, Avengers Endgame.
And number 1.
Number 1, Avatar, the first Avatar.
The first Avatar is the highest grossing movie of
It's
all
the
time.
highest grossing movie of all time.
Wait, Top Gun Maverick isn't on there?
No, it's enormous, but it's
didn't
not
make
on
$2
this
billion?
list.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
it's not in the
Okay.
2 billion club.
Yeah, it's interesting for me that we're finally talking about this. Brando has been wanting to do Avatar for a while. I had not seen the first Avatar
Yeah.
what?
until last week.
I brought it up, and you
What?
made a
Yeah.
scrunchy face.
Yeah, so there are 2
I was like,
movies that like I say that I've never watched and it blows people's minds.
yeah.
And they're both by James Cameron.
You've never seen Titanic?
I've never seen Titanic.
Oh wow.
I've never. Yeah, up until last week, it also was Avatar.
Yeah. I mean, Titanic's is a legitimately good movie too.
I don't doubt.
Yeah, that's
Look.
pretty
I
good.
wasn't a teeny bopper girl teen in the 90s.
Okay.
What? It's the third highest
all right.
grossing movie of all time. It's not just teeny boppy girls.
I know. I remember friends coming out and they would see that movie like 8 times a week. So
Yeah.
let's be honest here. It was for teeny boppy
But
girls.
when that dude hits the propeller, though, I mean,
Yeah.
like you're just
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. Never seen it.
Exactly.
you. How do you have a podcast about these things?
But you've seen that clip though, right? Of the guy falling when the ship's like
Nope.
straight up. Like
I've seen
vertical,
that. Yeah,
and the guy falls and he hits the propeller.
never saw that part.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I know
that's-
MythBusters proved wrong the door thing.
Oh,
The
where he could
door
float on the
He
door.
could have fit on the door and it still could have floated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know that about Titanic.
Yeah. So what? Why not? What was your resistance?
So my thing is, and how do I word this correctly without sounding pretentious? Most of the time,
There we
most
go.
of the time, when people talk so highly of something,
Yeah.
it's never going to live up to the hype.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, meh. And
Well,
people were talking
Then
about
I gotta
Avatar.
ask you what the hell you were doing in 2009 while the rest of us were in the movie.
Living a
theater.
life and having a girlfriend, nerd.
Okay,
Having sex
well-
with girls.
Yeah. I
Well,
just
look
no.
where
I
you
was
are
doing
now.
that, but also was a huge nerd.
You
Where's
were,
that
you were like
girlfriend now?
14 in
Owen?
2009.
In 2009, I was 20.
20?
20.
Oh wow, you're
Okay.
old.
Yeah, not as old as you, motherfucker. No, but so like that's my thing, and it's like the way people were talking about the first Avatar was a little disturbing. It's like, oh my god, I just wish I could be one of the like an Avatar and be one of those people,
The
and like all
Na'vi.
this in the Navi, and just
Yeah.
like be them and like have that life. And I was like,
Just be naked.
it's a
and blue.
it's a fictional
Dude.
thing, and I'm like, I get it. Like I fucking wish I was a Sith Lord. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not sitting
know.
here fantasizing it. Kind of. Well, hold on, let me rephrase that. I'm not sitting here No, I'm still do that. Okay, maybe I'm.
You're doing all of that.
Yeah, I'm doing all that.
You're that
Am I
guy.
the issue? Am I the problem?
Well, you just just didn't want to have your heart broken, is what it sounds like.
Also true. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Oh, and you have some ectoplasm on your shirt.
sure. Oh God, yeah. No, that's my dark Sith power right there. No, so that's the thing too. It's definitely a lot of that. I knew it wasn't going to live up to the hype, and as well, I knew that the technology for what they were trying to do wasn't there yet.
Oh, you thought that?
Yeah.
In 2009.
In 2009, yeah, and you know, so I finally watched it, the first one, and honestly, it's a good movie. It is a good movie.
Okay.
I was correct. The technology was not there yet to do
Really?
something
Okay.
of that caliber, and it completely was blown away in the second one,
Yeah.
which
yeah.
we'll talk about eventually.
Well, speaking of the thing, like, because you talk about like the whole like people wanting to live on Pandora and be a Navi. Like, have you heard like this real psychological disorder that came from this movie of like people longing for the planet Pandora and all of its beauty, and like being so disappointed with like this cold gray Earth that we live on?
Is it called Pandora's Boxium?
I don't know what it was. It might have been called like Avatorium or something. I don't know. Some weird name.
Unobtainium?
Yeah, Unobtainium.
Unobtainium.
Yeah, James Cameronian. You know. And but no, that's a real thing. Like people were legitimately going to see psychiatrists and stuff, and like dealing with like
Yeah.
depression that was caused like because I saw this movie. And I just wish so much that real life's not that way, and people were like super bummed out by it.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, it's
No,
not funny. I'm laughing at it. It's
I
not
just
funny.
wish
But
everything was 3D just like that.
Yeah, I wish I had a tentacle coming out of the back of my head so I can.
have sex with the
That's
Earth.
Yeah. They even say that in the first movie when what's his Jack Tully,
Jake
Sully,
Tully. What
Jack
the
Tully's
Jack
Jake
Tully.
Jack Tully, yeah, related to Jack Bauer.
Yeah, there you go.
And he was like when he first becomes an avatar, he like pulls out that tentacle thing, and so I said Nicole Kidman, I mean Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, told him not to
Let's
play
play
with
with
it.
it or else he'll go blind.
I
It's like
love that.
dick
Yeah.
joke.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. So okay, so we do need to talk about the first one. We'll start off by talking about the first because we'll get to the second.
Yeah.
We'll spend most of our time in the second one. But the first one, so I did see it. You saw it in theaters.
Yes.
When it was, did you feel like what was your feeling? Like, did you
Okay,
like
when I
it? Did you
saw,
feel
like-
like the technology wasn't there or what?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you just you watched it on just like a flat TV, like on 3D, and it just like it's known as being, like the movie like you see in 3D.
Yeah, like in a theater.
2009.
Yeah.
And like I still remember it being like the most just immersive theater experience, and like you guys know, I'm like a theater purist. Like I
Yeah.
freaking love going to the theater. And
Well,
like,
you hear a
yeah.
lot of people say like, "Oh, I hate movie theaters." People talking and crunching their popcorn, and I love that I can watch movies at home. And I'm like, dude, I'm the exact
Yeah.
opposite. I
Yeah.
love going to a movie theater, and I go to the right ones too.
Yeah,
I go to
exactly.
ones where I
Yeah.
know like, or
Right.
at a time where
Yeah.
maybe not. But my experience, like, I love walking down the hallways with the movie posters. I
Yeah.
love like sometimes having
exactly.
popcorn and,
it's-
sitting in the
it's-
chair.
and it's
Yeah.
the smells, and
Yes.
just like
the commercials beforehand.
Yeah,
I like that
even
stuff.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, just when it's a good theater, right?
Yeah.
Like
it's got to be a good theater.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But like it if it's a good theater, like it in and of itself is an homage to cinema.
Yeah.
You know, and like that
It's an
that's just really
experience.
cool. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
immersive. Yeah. But I saw it in 3D also.
Yeah.
And this was back during the 3D craze. You guys remember this?
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Remember when
Yeah.
everything was 3D and every movie was converted to 3D?
3D, yeah.
3D TVs?
Yep.
Yes.
Remember those?
Yeah, I was just so I rewatched the first Avatar like right before I came here today.
Oh yeah.
So then I was like watching it, and I was like, oh yeah, remember how they were like trying to sell like 3D glasses like with your TV?
Yeah. At
You know,
home.
like they only came with two. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, because it was the fad. It was
Yeah.
and I was sick of it. I mean, because 3D existed before the first Avatar movie, and I'd seen 3D movies, and I was like, it's okay, it's
Right.
not a big deal. I didn't care about it, and then all of a sudden, society just started pushing it down our
Yeah.
throats, and I was like, I'm sick of this. I don't want it. But I saw the first Avatar in 3D, and that to this
Right.
day is the only movie where I was like, yeah this is
like
awesome.
I don't remember a movie I saw on purpose in 3D. Since then, it's like, oh shit, these
And
are
to play
3D
to that,
tickets.
You bought the
Damn it.
wrong tickets.
Oh
It's-
god.
Back in that time, I didn't like 3D either because a lot of the times it was gimmicky where they would like create those scenes where it's like something's coming right at the camera, like it's actually coming at
Reaching
me.
right
Oh! and it never worked.
Also,
but
both of you wear actual glasses like a bunch of freaking nerds. So
I would wear
guess that
contacts
extra
on those
sucks.
days.
Oh, back in the day, yeah. Now the glasses
have
actually
contacts
fit
just for
over
that.
now. But now what I like about
They don't fit
with
my
3D,
nose though. I have like a tall nose, and the glasses like jut out from my nose.
Look,
It's
I'm the Jew between the two of us. If anyone's going to complain about how glasses fit on their nose, it should be
you
me.
have a normal nose though. That's not a thing? Is that a thing?
I don't know. People say Jews and noses are a thing. Anyways, but like today's cinema, though, they're doing a really good job of having 3D just meant to add depth to it.
Yeah.
Rather than it be that gimmicky
In your face.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I would never go see a movie back in like the late 2000s in 3D. And particularly as well if they had that 4DX that they have now where it's like, oh, look, we're like rocking chairs, spraying water.
shoot water on you? Yeah.
No, thank you. That's if I want to go to a roller coaster, I'll go to Disneyland or something.
So apparently, like, there's a difference too between when a movie's filmed in 3D and then when it's converted to 3D.
Yeah,
yes.
And so this was, at least the film
Films
parts were filmed in 3D.
Directly for IMAX 3D.
Yeah. And they have the IMAX cameras and all that stuff too. And you can tell, like, you can just tell it was an expensive movie to me. And I don't know, that first movie, I watched it, I was like, this is fun, and I've watched it a couple times since then. But then before I went to see the second one, I watched it again, and it had been years since I'd seen it, and my girls had never seen it before. Okay. And all four of us watched it together as a family. And this time, just was a few weeks ago, I was like, man, this is a great movie. Like, this was fun.
I went and saw the second one with Puck. And him and I got to talk a little bit afterwards. And I was like, yeah, I'd like talk about it. He's like, yeah. I was like, the storyline I don't really care about at all in Avatar. But just how beautiful it is what I really care about. Like, just how, like, they've got everybody to move and look, and especially in the second one. It was just great. But I definitely want to talk more about the second one because I liked it. Yeah. But before we go into the second one, I wrote an description of the first movie.
Is this what you were typing before?
Yes, I wrote out the plot.
All right.
For the first movie. All right. Tell me if this plot makes sense.
I already know I'm gonna hate this.
A veteran of the military is taken to a foreign land somewhat reluctantly. His main mission is to destroy the native people of the land, but ends up spending time with them instead. While with them, he starts to learn their ways and falls in love with a female that is related to the tribe leader. Eventually, he turns against his old people and helps the native people take on the invading military, and they win. What movie is that?
That's Avatar.
Is that Avatar?
Yeah.
No, I wrote that. That's Last Samurai. That's Last Samurai.
Okay, I have it in my notes to talk about this because you have to talk about this when we're talking about Avatar. It's this trope. It's the storytelling trope called the Noble Savage. Have you heard about this?
Oh, 100%.
So the Noble Savage trope is a storytelling thing where there's a group of people that is seen as barbaric, and so they're treated as less than. But it turns out they're actually like of high moral caliber, and they're like they have their ways of life are not barbaric; they're beautiful, right? And then what you just said, the description
even more so of their invaders.
Yeah, they're higher like purity than the invaders. And so I had like I listed a couple movies with this noble savage trope is like Pocahontas.
Yep.
Fern Gully.
Fern Gully.
Did you see that one as a kid?
Yeah.
Dances with Wolves from the 90s.
Yeah, with Kevin Costner.
That's the one I was about to say.
Yeah.
And so clearly this movie in the first one and second one.
Yeah.
The second one is actually more original, but definitely in the first one, like the story's been done before, right? Like we've seen this story before.
But it's like also, like that, and that was like the biggest criticism of it, when it came out, right? Like that just how derivative it was. But it's like, you just named all of those different movies. It's like, well, it's like we liked all of those movies. Like, what's wrong with this one?
Yeah. Well, what I would say about that is okay, you mentioned Last Samurai and all that stuff. Those are all good movies. All these movies we talked about are good. Yeah. However, I'll say this. Avatar is the best version of that story. It's the best version of that trope. If you think of like, oh, here's that generic description, but Avatar is like the best version of it. It's like they do it so like the humans are just so like greedy, and the Na'vi are so beautiful and pure, and it's just the best representation of that story. Like yes, it is a simple, straightforward story that's been done before, but it's the best version of it.
It's definitely an unsubtle commentary, right? On
Yeah.
just capitalism and all of those things. And,
Yeah,
destroying your
colonialism,
planet.
yeah, and whatnot. But I think I do agree with you somewhat, Brando. I mean, we have talked about The Last Samurai before on this podcast.
It's a great movie. I'm not diminishing those movies.
No, but I would say like if I was to watch any one of those, like I could only choose one movie of those to watch, it'd be Last Samurai.
Okay, yeah.
every
I mean,
single
that's
time.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great movie too.
Yeah. But man, okay, so I want to get into like Avatar. Cool, that's fun, but we really got to talk about Way of Water and
Number 2,
just how absolutely beautiful the cinematography was in this. And you want to talk about a movie that is great at world building?
Yes.
This movie actually might be the best world building movie I've ever seen.
I might have to agree with you. I feel like both of them were so good at that, and just that part of it, like just me remembering the first one just being the most immersive theater experience I've ever had.
Yeah.
And me loving the immersive theater experience, and like just going in and just being ready for that. It doesn't matter what it is, I'm ready for that. And then just Avatar being that experience. And then but honestly, I did feel like this one was even that much more.
Yeah.
And like so that part of it absolutely loved. Like it was an absolutely gorgeous movie.
That's
like,
my
frame by frame.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Freaking gorgeous.
Like people criticizing the story, it's like I get that, but just for the visuals alone, this movie is worth the ticket price, man. Like just as a visual spectacle. Like if it were just like that's what I used to say about Tron Legacy. Like because a lot of people were like, "Oh, I didn't like that movie." I was like, if you think of it as a really beautiful 2-hour long music video, Daft Punk music video, then that's worth it alone.
Yeah. Like I mean, the soundtrack is maybe the best part about that movie anyway.
Yeah,
and that's just because like the soundtrack is amazing, and I love that movie. That movie was a blast to me.
But think about this movie. Think about Avatar: Way of Water. Is there any movie we could think of that has better quality visuals, like better quality CGI? I mean, because literally the entire movie is like Na'vi people. I mean, with the occasional real life human.
Yeah. And that's what I liked about this movie too, is it wasn't as split as the first one.
Yeah.
Where as the first one, you had to establish this, it was a lot more human time, I guess is the only way to put it.
Yeah.
Whereas it was a lot less Na'vi or Avatar time. And so it was just interesting to watch and have that where, they built, Unreal Engine is now taking over CGI. So Unreal Engine is famously a video game software where you create visuals and whatnot.
And a lot of games use it.
Yeah, a lot of games use it. And now they're actually going into movies, and this is an example of it, where it's like legitimately you can have a camera that's built into the computer, and you can control the camera, and through the lens of the camera, you see the movie, like the graphics already, the CGI and stuff like that. So even though the actors are in mocap suits and they don't really have like a lot of visuals, it's the director and the cinematographer can actually see what they're filming and how it's going to look. And to me, that's why Avatar 2 did so much better than the first one. It's because it allows the people that are filming it to actually see what they're filming rather than just being like, I guess this might work.
I won't know until post-production.
Yeah.
I mean, it is stunningly beautiful, and it's not just, and you hit it right on, Owen, because it's not just the visuals, it's also the world building. Like this future humans and alien planet are so fully realized. I mean, every aspect of their culture, of their biology, it is so thought out. And like you can tell, like you get the feeling that there's a whole world that we're not seeing. We're only seeing this one little glimpse. Like everything that and so when you get in the water and you're with the water tribe and they're showing you their culture and they're showing you the nature at the same time, you're just like, this is all real. Like you forget that it's just made up. It's like it feels like a Discovery Channel, like National Geographic documentary or something.
I mean, it legitimately felt like watching Planet Earth.
Yes,
like just this like very beautifully, like all the vibrant colors, the cinematography, focusing on the animals and just the beauty of the world. Right, like with Nicole Kidman's character.
Was Nicole Kidman in this movie?
No, she was not.
God,
You watched
Sigourney
Aquaman?
Weaver.
Sigourney
Weaver.
You watched Aquaman, didn't you?
I did watch Aquaman. Yeah.
Dolph Lundgren just looked so good in that CG armor.
When Jake Sully got the trident at the end.
Yeah, he was Poseidon all along.
That's the James Cameron DCU crossover.
Oh gosh.
I'm putting a team together of blue people and superhumans, and also space dragons.
And starfish from space.
Starfish from
Sucks that the Rock.
You got
isn't gonna
starfish
be
in the
in
water, we
Avatar
got starfish
3,
in space.
There's whales on my team. He
though.
talks,
Whales on
man.
my team.
That shit talks.
He had a baby.
But Sigourney Weaver's character, Kiri, when she was first introduced, and you see her napping,
Yes.
and when she's breathing, it's like the whole entire world is breathing. It's like pulsating from her.
Yeah.
It's like, man, this is.
Yeah.
Well, even the whole world building behind the idea of Pandora, literally all life on Pandora has a symbiotic relationship. It's all connected with nerve endings and stuff like that. That is brilliant. You take this real world, because Cameron is obviously borrowing from a lot of real world cultures and mythology and stuff like that. And that is a real world idea of hey, we're all actually spiritually connected. And then James Cameron presented that as we're also physically connected, and it's that is such a cool scientific biological way of presenting this cool cultural idea. You know,
it's just this very grounded and even scientific approach to this, the Gaia concept, kind of thing.
And of course, that's how Cameron would do it, because James Cameron is I don't think he cares about filmmaking. I he's actually in love with deep sea research.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know this?
No.
So the reason he took off, because he did Titanic and all that stuff. But he went down to the Titanic in an actual submarine and visit. I think he's been down to the Mariana Trench. And, which is the deepest part of the ocean on Earth.
It's the world's greatest and best scam, and I am here for it.
What? Wait, what?
Think about this, right? I won't ever have the money to go do this.
Okay.
So if I instead make movies
Yeah.
based on this stuff,
20
the studios will
Century
pay
Fox.
me
Pay for
to
my
go
vacation.
do research.
This is my Royal Caribbean shore excursion.
This is his side job that is funding his hobby.
Yeah.
His main hobby, which he makes $2 billion movies just so he can go play in the water.
And half of the budget is for his research.
Well, that's why there was a 13-year gap. We couldn't get the dude out of the fucking ocean. We're like, James, we got shit to film.
You're not actually a merman, okay? You can't live underwater that long.
I want to live in the ocean, damn it.
I'm going to be the man that fights the Megalodon.
Okay.
Megalodon, where are you?
Get Celine Dion to do this theme, or I'm not coming up.
So I wanted to list off the characters too, because as we talk about the story, and I wanted to get the characters straight, because this movie has a ton of characters in it. And I listed them off from memory, and I couldn't remember their names, but here's who they are. First of all, we had Jake Sully.
Mm-hmm.
We had Neytiri. We had Kiri Christ. We had Colonel Bad Guy. And
Quaritch.
We had General
Quaritch.
Bad Lady. We had Good Brother and Bad Brother.
Mm-hmm.
We had Talking Whale. We had Water Princess.
Mhm.
We had Water Bullies. And we had Tarzan Boy.
I
Spider.
prefer to call him Tarzan Greyjoy.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
And honestly, I was trying to remember everybody's name, but it's not. It's in a made up language. It's a made up language. Two, because they're CGI, there is that uncanny valley effect.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what that is?
Yes.
Okay.
For our listeners.
For our listeners. Okay. So uncanny valley basically is the human mind and our eyes are so good at perceiving things, we don't realize it. So when CGI has become so popular, we can immediately pick up on that it's fake, that it's not a real person, and we can't really explain why. So it's called the uncanny valley, that no matter what, even if we were to create cyborgs and they had human flesh
Like
or
a Terminator or something.
like a Terminator or something like that, we could immediately tell that it's not a real
There's
person.
something
off.
weird about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's even if, I put 100 sticks on the ground and put them all in perfect order, match and sync them so they all looked exactly the same, in a row, and I just off-kiltered one by a millimeter, your mind could almost immediately see that
Imperceptible.
Right? Yeah.
But
we could see it.
If they made a Wall-E robot, you'd be like, oh, that's cool. But then if they made a robot that tried to look human
Human,
but didn't
yeah.
quite look human,
Right.
it freaks you out.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't like this. I'm
Yeah, and so
uncomfortable.
it's that. So that's where it is. Where it's like, so because of that, it's hard to put who's who.
Well, did you feel
to
that
it.
in this movie though?
Not necessarily. I'm using the uncanny valley as like adjacent. I don't know what else to call it, but because it is fake characters
Yeah.
in CGI, it is not like a real person.
Yeah.
It's,
So
it's kind of hard to.
that's what Sarah said. So I'm watching the movie. I got to tell you this. This is crazy. Me and Sarah and the girls are watching the movie. I am like, we're like, what, 6 or 7 hours into the movie at this point. I am like sucked in. I'm like
6-7 hours.
it's a long ass
It
movie.
is a long movie.
And I look over and I see like Sarah's like looking down at her phone. And I was like, my first thought was like, oh crap, she's got a headache or like, because the 3D glasses and all that stuff. And I was like, oh no. And I lean over and I was like, hey, are you okay? She was like, yeah, I'm fine. And I was like, wait a minute. Are you just like dicking around on your phone? She goes, yeah. And I was like, do you not like this movie? She's like, it's dumb. I was like, what? So afterwards, like I had to follow up with this. I was like, Sarah, I just had a religious experience and you were on your phone the whole time. It's like, so what was the deal? She's like, they're fake blue people. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
She's like, they're not real people. And I was just like, really? So the uncanny valley really did affect Sarah.
Interesting.
But for me, I totally forgot. Like it was real to me. Like I was like, these are real people. Like my mind forgot about it all, and I totally was.
the
bought into it.
immersion was there.
100%.
Yeah.
So for me, as part of one of the things I wrote down, best character design, creature design I have ever seen.
Yeah.
And from
of any creature. You pick any one.
Yeah. But it's just because of like what you're talking about, like what little I guess I know of, just concept art and that kind of thing. Brendo, I don't know if I ever told you this, but so when I was in Orlando, met a dude that was actually an art director for EA.
Oh damn.
And so like I showed him, my cute little doodles on my iPad.
You're a real artist also.
Yeah.
He's an actual artist, like legit. Yeah.
Okay. But I like went and he introduced me to like the only concept artist who was at like that site or whatever, and like showed him my stuff and like tore it to pieces or whatever. But just talked about like how.
Wait, hold on.
Wait.
Did this
You can't.
professional artist like shit on your stuff?
Yeah.
He's like, did
100%.
you mean to draw it like this?
I swear I told you this.
It's like, what is this piece of shit you're showing me right now? And you're like, it's my hobby.
You actually chose this color for that person's eyes? Really?
Get the fuck out of here right now.
Are you happy with this?
I mean, basically.
Is this the type of shit you do regularly?
We're only saying this because right
Go
beforehand,
put this on your mom's refrigerator.
Chrissy,
And get the fuck out of my office.
Chrissy was doing this to us and how he thinks he sounds in the microphone.
So he's a professional audio engineer, and we brought him into our podcast studio that's in your fucking house.
and he immediately listens. He's like, "Do you have like a gate on this or something?"
We're like, "What's a gate?"
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What is that?
Yeah. He's like, you intentionally made my voice sound like
I
this.
was like, I can't record the episode
No,
now.
yeah.
Now I
Been
think
recording
it's
how many episodes like this? Just delete all of them. Start all over.
criticize our stuff.
Anyways, so you got your shit pushed in by an actual artist.
Oh wow,
I
you
love
gotta
this.
put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never meet your
Cool.
heroes.
Yeah.
That I don't even remember that guy's
Michael
name. so
Jordan,
he's
I
not
want to
my-
play basketball like you.
Shut up,
Get the
kid.
fuck out of here, kid.
Tie my shoes. Anyway, but this guy was just talking about like anatomy and especially, I mean, it's EA, like, so we're talking about like building these 3D characters but just understanding, just like you're saying, it's like if you're building this thing and, like they build them on like wire frames and, like, but if there's just like one thing that doesn't look right, then it just like falls apart.
It ruins the whole
I just
thing,
felt
yeah.
like, just like the textures of these things and just the way that they moved. Like even in the first one, like they had like every animal had six appendages,
Yeah.
except for the Navi, but it looked like it made sense.
There's like an
just the way that they moved.
evolutionary
Yeah.
ancestor.
And
yeah.
just the way that they moved and the way they interacted with their environment. And gosh, I mean, yeah, it just absolutely incredible. And I loved that the way that like the the water Na'vi, like they evolved differently.
Oh,
like
yeah,
they
they
were
they're physically different.
Like so they were broader, and because they had to be stronger to physically move through the water, and that their forearms were wider, and like there was a fin that like connected to like their pinky finger, and that kind of thing.
And their lungs, you could tell their chests were a little bit bigger.
And, like, they didn't have gills, but they had like a bigger chest, and they
their
like,
tail,
taught them,
the tail
was
wider.
bigger, yeah.
But it made sense for the jungle Na'vi to be smaller because they can move quickly through the trees and things like that.
And and the difference in color, because you had like the blue Na'vi and then like the aqua color.
Yeah, they're like light ocean blue.
Yeah. Apparently in the next one they're saying like they're going to
seafoam.
Seafoam green. Apparently in the next one they were talking about like doing some kind of like fire Na'vi.
No, that's out of order.
I know.
It's out of order. So Jake Sully learned the way of air.
Yeah,
in the first one, and then he went to water.
Yeah,
and so now he has to go to earth, and then fire.
And then,
what about
that's a natural transition.
But everything on Pandora was okay until the Fire Nation.
Until the Fire Nation,
the Sky Nation.
Yeah, that's a Avatar.
Yeah, sure.
Ong. Yeah, okay. Ong.
Because you haven't seen the other Avatar.
No, it's Ong, right?
Aang.
That's what M. Night Shyamalan said it was.
Yeah, no, it's Aang in the cartoon, the
I'm
anime.
starting to see why those EI guys.
EI guys. Wow, how
that was going to be a funny joke. I swear it was. That was going to be great.
How stroke drunk are you?
So, are we gonna like kind of briefly go over the story? Or
Dude, we're almost 40 minutes in.
I mean, what I thought was
we're
interesting.
not going to stop. I'm not going to stop.
Well, I did think it was interesting that like it was a clear 3-act structure.
Mm-hmm.
Like in that first act, it's like they're in the forest with the forest tribe, and then the humans return, which was super ominous and fantastic how that worked out. And then the Na'vi are basically like Pandora Al Qaeda, where they're like running like insurgents, and Jake Sully was leading them on an insurgency, and the humans are trying to like get a foothold and stuff. Okay, Al Qaeda in a good way. Right? Owen's covering his face. I think I said something wrong, but like the good kind of Al Qaeda is what I'm saying.
Oh no!
you know what I mean. So Act 2, which when they get to the water,
it's like a water type Al Qaeda, right?
It's like a
water Qaeda.
But that second act, like the entire act was like dedicated to just getting to know the water tribe and their customs and cultures.
Yeah.
And before any action happens, and because and some people say it kind of drags a little in the middle because the whole middle is just that whole planet Earth.
I mean,
sequence.
To be honest, you could say any over 3 hour long movie drags somewhere.
It is long.
It is long.
But then that third
honestly,
act,
man, like I resist that comment. Honestly, like I really don't agree. Like if it's done well, if it's done right, if there's 3 hours worth of story to tell.
But isn't it like 3.5 hours or something?
It's 3 hours and 10 minutes.
3 hours and 10 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so it's almost 4 hours long.
And
I'm
not saying that I didn't feel it in this movie. I did feel it in this movie.
I had to pee so bad.
So here's the weird part about it. I will, I do agree with you somewhat, Chrissy, on it. Like it did flow really well. The only part that I think they actually should have cut down on was the third act and the final conflict.
I actually agree with that because the final act is where all the action goes down. The humans catch up with the water tribe and all that stuff, and it's just nonstop action. But I agree with you. The action was great.
It was,
but there were a couple of like scenes where they're in trouble, and I'm like, you already showed them in trouble,
right?
They don't need to get in trouble twice.
So they like even made a joke of like, I
can't believe I got tied up again.
Yeah, I was like, me neither, kid.
Yeah,
me neither. Why'd you go back to the boat?
Why did we have to have a whole scene of them getting rescued?
Yeah,
to then have to get captured again.
Yeah.
To get rescued again.
Yeah,
I just got now that we're on the story. Like the actual script, it's just like, man, for like 13 years, like I really wish you would have had a better script. And like for the first one to like have, like there was such criticism of it being so derivative, but like at least that, like in watching it, before I got here this afternoon, it's like, I can't really find any plot holes in the, at least, it's a solid narrative, but
it's
like this,
it's internally consistent.
Yeah. Whereas like this one is just like a lot of shit doesn't make sense. Like I felt like you're talking about the end. I was like, does anyone in this movie know how a hostage situation works? Like, it's like what? Like that kid should have been dead 10 times already.
All of them should have been dead a lot.
Whichever one, right?
Yeah, whichever one.
All the children are captured at least 3 times.
Right. Right.
And all but one escapes.
Yes.
They killed a child in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Did anyone think that would happen? Was that on your bingo card for Avatar 2?
No.
A child will die.
I knew there were. It's gonna sound bad.
I mean,
there
it
was
was
too many kids. I knew one of them was gonna die.
Yeah.
They're like, well, because it's like, well, we adopted this one, we had this one, then we had another, and then basically we have a human child now too that won't leave us alone. I'm like, well, there's too many kids.
I can't keep track of all
Yeah,
this.
this is not cheaper by the dozen.
That's why I didn't name them. Like I didn't name because I was like, I remember like Bad Brother and Good Brother, and I don't remember their names.
Right.
And it doesn't really matter, but because you get the character, right?
Yeah.
And which one of them was died? Was it Bad Brother or Good Brother that died? I can't remember.
Well, Good Brother died. The older brother that was like the prodigal son.
That's right.
Died, and then there was like the
But it was
one
like the Patriot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Heath Ledger.
With
He was Heath
Mel
Ledger.
Gibson.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So this is there. I'm going to put
Yeah.
the Patriot on this
It's-
list also.
Oh, but he lost 2 kids in that movie.
Did he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jake Sully. You're not as cool as Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Well,
Guess not.
apparently we have 3 more Avatar movies.
Yeah.
on the way.
So maybe all of them will die.
One could hope. Ah.
Yeah, Neytiri didn't do a lot in this movie.
They definitely made her a lot more of a supporting character in this one.
I was surprised by that.
and I was not actually. She was one of my favorite characters in the
Yes.
first one.
She, absolutely, she's a great
I
character.
mean, I loved her in this one as well. Like, and I feel like, just like what a challenge like it has to be for our actors and like in these scenarios and in these mocap suits and like there's like I'm a huge nerd, so I watched like even after like the 4 hours of like the Hobbit movies, like I watched the extended version and all that stuff. But Ian McKellen talking about how difficult it was, just being like separate from them. So like I know this is like it's like an extra thing, an extra hurdle to get over. But I felt like Zoe Saldana, man, like she just freaking killed it. And I loved how just like absolutely feral like she could be, and like especially like as a mother, just this instinctual like animalistic thing,
Yeah, I thought it was really cool how so Jake Sully is already the guy who left his tribe to join another tribe.
Right.
So he's used to being the odd man out, right? But then in this movie, Neytiri, now she leaves her tribe and she's not used to that.
Yeah.
Right.
And she does not like that.
Yeah.
And she's heartbroken of leaving her tribe behind. That was really cool. And Jake was like, no, we can just leave and go to the water tribe. And she's like, what? No, like you do that. I don't do that. That was I thought that was really neato how they did that.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think that the spider to Quaritch story needed to happen?
I felt like the spider character didn't need to exist at all and annoyed the absolute shit out of me the entire time.
Trying to figure out what the point of that story is going to be.
I'm not going to say he didn't do anything in this movie. He did do something in this movie, but I don't know what the point of his story was. Maybe they're going somewhere in a future movie. Maybe he'll be something in one of the next ones or something.
But I have criticized movies a lot, and I will criticize this about it too, is even though you're writing it to be part of a trilogy or anthology, however many movies this is going to be, quadrilogy, I don't know, whatever. Sexology, yeah. Whatever, however long, it's
That's
still
their Justin Timberlake single.
It's fine to have like some couple little, Easter eggs or like little plot hooks that are going to pay off later, but you still need to give some semblance of where it's going.
Yeah.
So the Spider Cord story, I don't know what the point of that is. The Kiri story, on the other hand, even though I don't like that they dropped some hints and then just all of a sudden her story just ended and it's like, oh, now we got to go into conflict. I still go, we all know where it's going.
Yeah,
she's an immaculate conceived baby.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's why I called her Kiri Christ.
Yeah.
She's clearly she's clearly a Messiah figure. And she's played by Nicole Kidman, also known as Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
Which is those names aren't even remotely alike. Those women aren't even remotely alike.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, they've probably had the same amount of work done. in this point in their lives.
Actually,
I
no.
think
Sigourney Weaver.
is aged gracefully.
Yeah.
Have you seen
and
Nicole Kidman in that fucking like movie theater commercial that's at the
where
beginning
she goes
of
to
all the,
clap in her hands? Yeah.
or like what is it, the Regal Cinemas or AMC,
it's
whichever
so
one.
bad.
It is. And she's like,
I
it's
don't-
here, and she does that unnatural pause.
Yeah.
It's like, and I'm like, stop looking into the camera. You're
It's
freaking
so
me out.
weird.
Like I got to
It
see
is
her
so
face
I
weird.
after.
guess I didn't see it at the same theater that you guys saw it.
But my favorite character was Kiri. And what's interesting is so Sigourney Weaver is doing motion capture
Mhm.
and she's playing a 14-year-old
Right.
character. And which is brilliant. Like as an actor, like what a cool thing to do.
Mhm.
You know, plus Sigourney Weaver is just amazing. Like her voice, her intonations, just how she speaks and emotes. But like that character to me, I was like, this is so cool. Like because okay, so back up. The reason why I think it's cool is tied to the world building.
Mhm.
So they mention this. They don't show it,
Mhm.
but they mention that Earth is a wasteland,
Mhm.
and there's no greenery on Earth anymore. So it's like this like cyberpunk.
And that's why they
You-
come back to
And
Pandora.
they
Yeah.
did mention that in the first movie.
yeah.
So they're gonna move humanity, which that makes the humans actually more sympathetic.
Yeah.
You know, and when you think about it, I'm like, I get it. Like you need a home, you know, and that's why you're not.
Right.
You're still not doing a good thing, but
Right.
at least it. So anyway, like I love the idea of this Messiah figure not only saving Pandora from the invaders, but maybe even saving the invaders from themselves. You know, like I
Yeah.
wonder if they're going to do a future thing where she goes to Earth
Hmm.
and like replants. You know, or re-brings to life Earth's population with Pandora life.
like the God
But
seeds.
then
Yeah,
That's
you
like
know?
credit
they-
scenes,
yeah.
though,
and not only
it's alien eggs.
it's face huggers.
So one of my things is, as much as you were Brando, you were Brando, you were
the fucking trailer sound. That's what I'm talking about.
Brett, you were
Kristen,
spot
how many
on
quotes are on the floor?
with Sigourney Weaver. She did such a great job playing a 15-year-old or however old
Yeah.
a kid in it. There is one time though you can see her age because she did the mocap for it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple times that Kiri is running and you can tell it's like a 70-year-old woman trying to run. It is the exact same thing that happened in Captain Marvel with Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, also The Irishman
The Irishman, yep.
with
yeah.
Robert De Niro. This dude is like, he's at least 100 years old. Have you seen that scene where
Yeah.
he takes the guy out of the deli and he beats him up and then stomps on him?
Uh-huh.
And he looks like a 70-year-old man. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
But it's like I can't really complain at that point, right? But it's like I get it. It's just still kind of
you
funny.
can't help it.
Yeah.
You know,
There's supposed to be these like super graceful people running around and frolicking, and they can like jump over 100 feet and catch leaves, and it's just a 70-year-old woman.
she gets up and she holds her back. She's like, "Ah," and then she grabs onto a vine and swings like 100 yards. I like that. I can see where the CG took over.
But man, we need to get into trivia here shortly. But before we get into that, I just want to say I thought, you know, like I said, I don't think I think the conflict could have been a lot shorter. You could have easily made the movie 2.5 hours that way. But if I was to give this between 1 and 5 droplets of water,
There we go.
story wise, 2, but visually beautiful, it's a 5. It's 5 droplets of water for me.
Oh,
yeah.
Out
wow.
of
5 drop 1 to
okay.
5. Yeah, 1 to
Okay.
5.
Out of 5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one
we
to
do a
5,
scale
yeah.
of 5 here. What would you give it, Chris? Honest opinion.
I wouldn't. I might have to pretty well agree with Owen.
Oh,
Maybe
look
I'd
at
give
that.
it. Maybe I'd give
Look
it
at that. It's a brand new day.
I'd give it a 3.
3 on storytelling.
3
but-
on story. I mean, but yeah, and like my thing is like, you know, there's always been, especially in recent years, of, you know, like what technology can do, and, you know, like, oh, there's so much CG, and, you know, like in the new Star Wars trilogy that was terrible.
Yes,
By
it
the
was.
end, you know, like they you know, introduced like more like, oh, we're just gonna do more practical effects, and I just felt like with technology, like, you know, oh, we can do whatever we want to with it, you know, like, so then it puts the emphasis back on the story. So
Yeah.
I think plus side of that is that no, there's more that they can do with technology and be more immersive,
Yeah.
but it would have really been cool if
Yeah.
they had just made a better, more compelling story instead of, you know, pushing in a very unsubtle agenda.
So what was your overall rating out of 5?
Overall rating out of 5, 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
3
Okay.
out of 5.
All right.
Yeah.
I would.
But
give
you're
it a-
still we're all 5 on visual though, and the beauty.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I'm gonna go overall 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Or 4.5 out of 5.
Wow.
Actually,
Oh, wow.
I rated pretty well.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
I went on a journey with it. It really did suck me in, and I really enjoy. I mean, I agree with it's not perfect. It's simple. And I know you want to go into trivia. I wanted to say I had one more point I wanted to mention. So, have you heard about the controversy?
Yeah.
Not the controversy, but the criticism of
It's a little bit of a controversy, yeah.
But there's this phrase like the zero cultural impact. Have you heard this? Where they're like, it's such a big movie, but nobody's talking about it. It's the first movie came out and then just disappeared. And of course people are talking about how derivative the story is, all that stuff, which is a valid criticism. But like I feel like it's getting overly criticized. And because especially when you have so many people saying, movie studios are so unoriginal, all they're making are reboots and taking comic books or old movies or whatever. And that's true. Like 9 out of 10 movies coming out are like a reboot or a reinterpretation of some other already existing property, right? But if you look at Avatar, this is an original property.
Yeah.
This is James Cameron's. This is an original series here. And of all the criticisms of saying Hollywood is creatively bankrupt, here we have an original property that is not a remake. It's not a franchise of something else. It's just James Cameron's like environmentalist vision, and dream.
Yeah.
And that means something. You know what I mean?
Fair.
Like
That's fair.
And yeah, is it the most original story of all time? Like, no. I mean, because no story's
original.
Every story's been told.
Yeah.
Right. But the fact that James Cameron is doing something that is not pre-existing, and it is the number 1 and so far number 7 movie of all time, dude, that's huge. That is a cultural
Yeah,
phenomenon.
because it's only been out for 2-3 weeks now.
Yeah, it's not been long.
Yeah. It's been, honestly, I get it. The controversies I think is kind of dumb about it. A lot of people have been saying like, oh, it's glorifying colonialism, and
no, they're the bad guys.
The humans are the bad guys in this. Yeah, but like people are criticizing. Well, it's like, they let an outsider in, and now he's a part of the people. I was like, what is that?
But that's cool. That's inclusive.
Yeah,
right.
That's inclusive.
Why does it matter?
That's a good
He-
thing.
yeah, but yeah, it's a great movie. Anyways,
It's trivia time.
Yeah.
so you might be asking yourself a question: why did Banter and Such take a 3-week break?
Well, it was not on purpose.
It was not because of the holidays. It was because it's my turn to spin the wheel of shit, and I just wanted to delay it as long as I possibly could.
Well, if you're listening to our show,
Owen took the recording computer.
I mean, if you're listening to our show in order, then the last episode we said like, "Hey, we're going to take a 1-week break," and we just forgot that we were off for like 2 weeks.
2 weeks,
Like,
yeah.
Because you texted me last week and you're like, "Hey, are we supposed to record?" And I was like, "I don't think so."
So yeah. Well, it's just because it's like it goes from Christmas to New Year's,
Yeah.
and you always feel like that's the same week.
Well, the week
And it's
between
not.
Technically the week between Christmas and New Year's is called the Taint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at a bar and they had that up on
Taintically.
On a chalkboard sign.
Yeah, I'm not original.
Yeah.
I'm James Cameron.
You're James Cameron. Is the Helios Network just to fund your scuba diving trips?
I want to live in the sea.
Under the sea.
So last time we did trivia, and I don't think this has ever happened before, but
It was the first time this has ever happened.
you got 0
I got
points.
0 points.
So you're spinning that wheel. You bad boy.
So, Christy, let's talk a little bit more about you and okay. Here we go.
it's
Ready?
just gonna land
All
on
right.
something dumb that we're gonna undo anyway. All right, spin this shit. What does that say? I can't even.
Pirate.
Oh, there you go.
It's pirate. Where's the?
Pirate. Do I have to ask? I don't have any pirate questions.
I think is a pirate head up there. I think it's somewhere over there.
This is when we role play.
We roll. Yeah, I have to. I'm gonna put a pirate hat on, and I got to talk like a pirate for the rest of the episode.
I can't find it.
Or unless
Yeah.
that's a chicken head.
The chicken.
Is it at your feet? We're so organized here at the Helios Network.
I got a hook.
Okay, we got the hook.
Look,
All right, I think he's gone.
you guys may not know
wait,
this.
He's right here.
Hey-o.
Ah.
All right.
No
on
one's
like a
no one's gonna know.
But if you check out
If
our
you're-
Instagram,
Oh,
you can
okay.
see all the lovely photos of it. All right, hold on. I'm gonna.
Yes, Chris correctly pointed out that this is a audio medium, and we're doing a visual gag right now, and that's just kind of the dumb shit we do.
They're not going to get it.
Oh, what do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? You put him on a podcast.
Come on,
Arrgh.
do the hook. Do the hook. Let me see it.
Me mateys.
All right,
Should we get into some shiver and trivia?
let's do it.
Now type with hook.
Oh, gosh, no.
Shiver me trivia.
Shiver me trivia.
So
Trivia me.
So Chris texted me before we recorded today, and he goes, "So what's the deal with this trivia thing?" And I was like, "Hey, have you ever heard our show before?"
Chris, have you never listened to
I've
one of our
listened to the
shows?
show. I did research. Okay.
All right.
Are you ready?
I be ready.
You
for
just
the
tell
open
me
seas.
when I can ask you questions.
How many do you have?
Oh, like 9-ish.
All right,
Sweet.
I'm good with that.
9, like the amount of seas on Pandora.
Ooh, there we go.
Like the open
Are there
seas. I
nines?
have no idea. I
You're
just
just
kind of hope
making
there
shit
is. Now I'm just sounding like the pirate at the beginning of SpongeBob.
SpongeBob
Are you ready, kids? For some trivia.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Yeah, I'll just start with this one. Whatever. Okay. At the end of the first Avatar, in the climactic battle sequence, Colonel Quaritch commands weapons free. This isn't quite accurate, as that command means to engage any target not positively recognized as friendly. What is the correct phrase that would mean engage all hostile targets?
Wow.
I didn't know we were doing an episode on military terms.
You just asked us a real question.
I mean,
I think
I had a lot of fun in these, and then I got through them like, these might be a
Okay,
little
so
hard.
one more time. What was the phrase he used?
He used weapons free.
Okay.
but that's not the correct one. What would
That's
the-
not the correct
I think I
one.
know. I have a guess.
I have a solid guess myself.
All right, you go first.
Open fire.
I was gonna say fire at will.
Both wrong.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah,
Go
okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
Weapons tight would be the correct.
I do like my weapons tight. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I bet you.
that's just him going weapons tight,
Tight,
yo.
yo.
Weapons
Yeah.
tight. Oh, look at them machine guns,
Hey,
yo.
girl.
Yeah.
Keep them weapons tight, girl.
Them missiles tight.
Mm-mm.
All right. What to be question 2?
Okay. When Neytiri first sees Jake in the jungle, she draws her bow on him. And this is in the first movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
What makes her change her mind and put her bow at rest?
Oh, I know this.
I
one.
know this one too. Brando, you could go though.
The Awa seed lands on him.
Yes.
Oh, a bunch of them.
No.
There's a whole bunch of them. That
It lands just on the tip of her spear.
On the
or
ti-
tip of the arrow.
technically you did. I think you
Yes.
said the right answer.
So Owen is correct.
What doesn't he get surrounded by?
That's later
Yeah,
on.
but that's later.
That's a little bit
That's
later
later.
on.
Dang it.
Yep.
I'm going to
Alright.
give us both a point because we both knew it was because of the Awa seed.
No, don't do it because
Okay.
it landed on her spear. I was wrong. Or
Tip
not
of
spear,
tip
but
of
the
the
arrow.
Tip of the arrow.
Yeah,
All right,
she got
it was-
seed right
it
on
was
the
her
tip.
arrow. Yeah,
Mm.
seed on the tip.
Mm-hmm. You
This is
gotta,
a family-friendly podcast,
Mhm.
Brando.
you gotta wipe that stuff off.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's still on your shirt, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I'm waiting for Brando to lick it off.
Mm.
Shiver me timbers. Get me a bottle of rum. and
Okay,
Brando's tongue.
all right. Next question is which starring actor from the Amazon Prime series The Boys was also in the first Avatar film?
Wow, that's a great question. He's from The Boys, and he was in the first Avatar movie.
Yes.
Oh man, now I'm running through the cast of The Boys.
I think I know this one.
Dude, I am lost on this one.
No, we're talking about Avatar, not Lost. Ha ha ha.
That wasn't
That's
funny.
Jungle
Don't lie.
Island.
Jungle
there you go.
Island.
Yeah. I don't.
I can't remember his first name.
What's his last name?
Quaid. Is
What?
it Dennis Quaid's son?
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about the main guy, Lil Huey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
No.
Huey wasn't in it though.
No.
No,
He was
in
not
the
in the
one.
first one. That was my guess.
No.
All
Okay.
right, who
It was actually Laz Alonso who plays MM or Mother's Milk
what?
on The Boys.
He is in
He
it.
was
A soldier.
Sute,
Yep.
who was like the warrior of the Navi tribe.
Mhm.
Oh, he
You know
played
what
a Navi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Son of a-
Huey Lewis in the news.
It was
always.
blue in the movie.
Yeah.
Look,
Uncanny
I'm just
Valley.
saying,
We're
he was in it,
disregarding that trivia.
and it was a
question.
strong supporting role.
Yeah.
Like he was featured in the film like a lot, and had a lot of movies or lines.
I knew that one, and I totally forgot.
Yeah, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you know Kate Winslet was in Way of Water?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She was
I was
the-
actually really wondering who that character was, and then like looked it up when I left. I was like,
She
oh
was-
shit,
She was
That's
the water
Kate Winslet.
queen.
Water, yeah.
Water Queen.
That'd be a good way to put
the
it.
Zora Queen.
Yeah, the Zora.
Zora's domain.
Yeah.
I was wondering why none of them were wearing a green cap.
Yeah. How did we not make that joke this whole
I
episode?
know. I had it. I was probably in my notes somewhere. I just
Okay, next question.
All right, next
We're still
question.
0-1.
What was the estimated budget of the first Avatar?
Ooh. We got to get close to this one. There's no way we're going to like nail it though, right? The first one, man, they've gotten so inflated since then, but they're big though.
Yes.
I have a guess.
I have a guess as well.
I'm going to say 250 million.
I was going to guess 300 million.
Who's closer?
You're closer
Hell yeah.
with 280 million
280.
for the
So
first
I'm
one.
closer.
But he's closer. That's 20.
I'm
Wait,
20
sorry.
away. He's 30
Wait,
away.
no.
How many doubloons have you been counting?
I'm looking at the next question.
This
Sorry.
is why you're an artist and a creative
Look,
and not.
I-
Christy, we'd love to have you back just for trivia.
I feel like I should
look,
still get a
yeah.
point though.
I don't need to answer questions.
You spent
You're
time
answering questions.
writing these
I'm
questions.
not out of order. You're out of order.
This whole damn system's out of order. All right,
All
next
right.
question. Pay no attention to the man behind the questions. Estimated budget of Avatar 2.
Well, I'm guessing
More than that.
way more than mine.
It's gotta be. I have a guess on that one as well.
Okay,
All right.
go for it.
I'm gonna say 400 million.
I'm going to guess 700 million.
700 million? What? That's like the GDP of a small nation.
How else
Look,
is
it's-
he going to
it's
get into
James-
Mariana
James
Trench?
Cameron. Yeah, exactly. He's got to pay his rent on the Mariana Trench.
Real estate in the Mariana Trench is really pricey right
He
now.
lives in a pineapple under the sea. so-
James Cameron.
SpongeBob Cameron.
Okay, so the answer is actually 250 million.
Wait, what?
Yes,
It was less?
it was actually less, but well, you didn't. Neither one of you answered anything close.
I was
So-
closer though. Technically,
technically.
I was
honestly.
like, what did you say?
$1.
$1.
But like but apparently over like the next, I guess the four that they're gonna do will cost like $1 billion. So they, and I mean
yeah.
they filmed 2 and 3 at the same time.
Yeah, 3 is
Yes.
already completed,
Yeah, it's
and they've done the first act, I think, of 4.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But either way,
And I think they're
you
supposed
guys
to
were
do,
wrong.
I think
So-
5 is supposed to be the last one.
Thank God. All right, next trivia
Next
question.
question.
Do I
Okay.
get that point because I was closer?
Yes,
All right.
it is 1-2.
All right.
I'll take
whatever.
it. I'll take
I
whatever
guess-
I can get.
Yeah,
This
I
is
know
your
you can
house. You
and
make
will.
the rules. Okay. Where does the actual word avatar come from?
Ooh, I know this one.
You probably knew.
Yeah.
I figured you would know this.
What-
Freaking
Are
nerd.
you asking in real world or in the world of the movies?
Oh,
real,
probably,
real world?
probably both would be the same. Would be the same answer, yeah.
Avatar. Well, once there was 4 nations, and everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
All right. Brenda, what's your answer?
It comes from Hinduism.
Yes.
It's an ancient Hindu term, and I don't remember the exact context within Hinduism though, but I do know it's Hindu.
Yeah. I'll say that is correct. The
There we go.
Sanskrit word avatara, meaning descent, or in Hinduism, a manifestation or incarnation of a person or idea.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Next question. And for the record, that was Brando. What the hell are you talking about over there?
You won't be saying that when the Fire Nation attacks.
In what year did James Cameron originally plan to release the first Avatar?
The first?
The first one.
Okay, it came out in 2009, right?
Right.
Okay. What did he intend?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a. I think I have a.
Yeah,
I'll have a
I have
guess.
a guess too. All right, I'll go first on this one.
Yeah.
I want to say 1996.
Wow.
Hmm.
I was gonna say 99 because I think it's late 90s, but Cameron was like, "No, the technology's not there yet. I'll wait."
Yeah.
That is correct.
Is
It
it
was
99?
99.
99.
And I know he intended to release the second one in 2010, 2011,
Yeah.
2012, 2013.
Literally
2014,
every year
2015.
until it came out. Like- another interesting tidbit, budget would have been $400 million and no studio would finance it in 1999.
Yeah.
What?
That must be
convinced-
where I got the 400 million from.
Yeah, that, yes, obviously.
That-
So, next question, and you're not being nearly piratey enough, by the way. You got to step.
Can
that
I
shit
hear
up.
your best pirate
Yeah.
impression?
What convinced James Cameron that CG effects had progressed enough to make this vision work?
I'm realizing how appropriate the pirate talk is on this episode.
Yes. Somehow the Wheel of
Yeah.
Shits always gives it the
I need
exact one
the-
we need.
I need the whale's brain juice for my wrinkles.
I don't suppose it'd be appropriate for us to do a Jamaican accent. We can't do that. Right?
I don't think it's ever appropriate
I
for you
don't
to
think-
do a
I
Jamaican
don't-
accent,
yeah,
Brando.
I'm not the right person for it.
All right. What convinced James Cameron that CG effects had progressed enough so that he could make his movie?
Paddington 2.
That shit's real, yo! Look at that real ass bear. That's James Cameron, 1999.
Bears don't even wear raincoats, man. That shit's crazy.
How'd I get the bear to stand up like that?
Oh, that shit talks, dude.
Oh, that's CG. Oh shit,
Oh,
we're doing
shit.
Avatar.
Oh, God.
I'm
Wow.
sorry, everyone.
In all honesty,
It's a great question.
Brando, do you know the movie?
So, okay, it came out in 2009. Oh man,
Are we talking Avatar or Avatar Way of Water?
the first one,
The
right?
first one.
The first
Yeah.
one.
Oh man,
Paddington 1, then. I'm
Oh.
trying to think of
Both
the
of those came out
movies.
after the first Avatar, by the way.
yeah. What?
That was the joke. Thank you, Chrisney.
Okay, I have a guess.
1 second.
Yeah,
Let me
I'll give you
think
time. 'Cause
on-
I'm
on
trying to
this
think of
one.
like those years, like what came out, or like early 2000s.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Brando, go ahead.
Was it Star Wars with Jar Jar Binks?
No, I'm going to
was
guess
not.
it was Lord of the Rings.
Is
You
there a
know the
specific
answer.
character?
Oh wait,
A specific
it is Lord of the Rings.
It is.
Oh shit!
I am going to have to guess it was the Uruk-hai
No,
or the Treants.
it's clearly Gollum.
Is it Gollum?
It's gotta be, yeah.
I mean, I don't even know how you want to do points with that. But
I will give
it was
myself
Gollum
a full
and Two
point.
Towers.
Well, you got Lord
I
of the
got
Rings.
it,
Yeah,
yes.
you got that.
It was a two-part question. So, Brando, I will give you a point for getting Gollum.
no.
I don't know why I didn't understand. It was Gollum.
Clearly,
It clearly was. Yes.
Uruk-hai. What?
Yeah.
No.
What with
Idiot.
the amount of people in Uruk-hai, I don't know what
No.
accent I'm doing now,
I
but
know. Are you Russian?
oh,
You got to recalibrate. Go
Yes,
back to the
yes,
SpongeBob
yes.
song.
Recalibrate. Oh, it's your anchor.
Oh, hey,
I don't understand that.
All right, shut up.
hey.
What?
Water puns, everyone.
Water puns. What actor declined a role in Avatar 2 after learning they would be a human character, not a Na'vi character?
Oh wow.
Wow.
What actor? Oh, that's a good question. Oh man, I swear I know it though.
Nicolas Cage.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? That was a solid guess. Like,
God, I actually
It
don't.
turned it
Oh,
down.
sorry. My pirate voice was.
yeah.
Be a human
there.
character. I bet it was like an older actor. That sounds like
I actually think I know this one.
is it
You already guessed.
No, I was. Do you really think Nicolas Cage was a real guess?
Actually, you know
Of
what?
course it's a real guess.
You know what? I'm going to go with I'm going to say Leonardo DiCaprio.
I'm
That's what I'm
going
gonna
to
say.
guess
Wrong.
it was the guy who played Gollum. I can't remember his name now.
No.
Okay.
It was Edward Norton.
Oh,
Yeah.
Would never guess that.
I heard he's an asshole.
Yeah. Or, you probably saw the new Knives Out movie. I was like, he's probably just like that.
Glass
Like-
onion.
Actually, what's crazy is I actually met him once, and I showed him my
Edward
artwork,
Norton?
and he just shit all over it.
Yes. You think that's a Hulk? I'll show you a Hulk.
I'll show you a hulking piece of shit.
All
Oh,
right.
that's so stupid.
Do you have any more choices?
Yes, there's one more. There's
All
one
right.
more.
All
All right.
Last
All right.
one. Last one.
What was James Cameron's last theatrical release before Avatar 2? And a two-parter. What was his role? Maybe for extra points. I don't know. Whatever you want to do with
His
it.
last theatrical release.
Theatrical release.
Yes.
And what was his role in it?
Yes.
Okay, so not just like a movie he directed.
Right.
Shit, that makes it hard because I know. Actually, I'm pretty sure the last movie he directed before that was the first Avatar movie. I don't think he directed another one. I think I have a guess. I think I have a guess.
I have a guess.
Probably have a solid guess.
I have a guess. It's bad.
Is it a like undersea documentary?
No, like if you wanted to count that, like that was
MTV
his
Cribs,
last
Mariana's Trench edition.
directorial.
So this is an
Release?
episode of Cribs. It's like,
Is
it's my house at the bottom of the ocean.
If you look out this window, you can see the megalodon as it swims by.
All right, guys, it was a 7-hour descent. Now we're at my front door. You guys acclimated to the pressure now?
Yeah.
We lost half the camera crew, but that's all right.
I'm going to guess it was the piece of shit last Terminator movie. He was not the director, but he was an executive producer.
That is correct.
Oh, was he involved in that Terminator movie?
Yeah. Well, he's actually. I have to look up if he was the. It makes sense that he was the
Like a
producer,
producer or
but he was the
something.
writer. It was a story by James Cameron.
What?
Ah, yes.
Oh, he doesn't claim.
What was that
one,
movie called? It was
Dark Fate.
Dark
Terminator
Fate.
Dark Fate.
That was
Oh.
2019.
I've never seen
I'm
it.
looking it up now.
Me neither.
I've seen clips from Genesis.
Genesis might be the worst movie of all time.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one either. But I'm like, did I watch that? I can't remember.
It wasn't the worst movie of all time.
Terminator movies went downhill, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Story by James Cameron.
I did watch Aliens again the other day, though.
So
Solid.
That movie's great.
Film.
Have you guys heard the theory that
and produced by
Aliens,
James Cameron.
Blade Runner and Avatar are all in the same universe?
Yes,
You've heard that? Isn't that cool?
that's cool.
I choose to believe it.
So, Brando, I
Yeah.
hate to say it.
So it means it's good.
It's really good. Up until that last question, you were beating me by 1 point. But because I was a two-parter question, I got both. Right? I get 2 points.
Okay.
So, who gets to spin the wheel of shit? Brando does. Next week.
So what does that make me 1 point down? I don't know. Krishna, you do the math. Hey, in all seriousness,
Fuck this podcast. It sounds like shit anyway.
and I could have said this up front is the reason when you texted me and you were begging and it was really pathetic and I finally gave in. But the reason I said yes is because you are so witty and funny. You've been amazing.
Oh,
You've been a
thanks.
hilarious
Thanks,
guest. You
guys.
made a funny episode. Do you have an internet presence? I was just thinking about that. I was like, I don't even think you have
no, man.
social media or
Well,
anything.
I'm off the grid, baby.
So
You know,
okay.
I just
So
live
if someone
on a
wanted to
bus.
like get in touch with you, you want to give you like your address so they can mail you a letter or
You
something.
know,
I don't know.
No. You know,
If I wanted to
the
send
old
a sea
Facebook.
kraken your way, how could it find you?
Mm.
Or maybe not at all. That's
Yeah.
He's like,
Or the
I don't know what that
Yarataro,
means.
the
Don't talk.
smart alien whales.
I'd just be on that Facebook.
yeah, nah, you've been awesome. Chris Sears, he's awesome. And also remember to check out our Instagram and Patreon.
Yes. Why are you reading my part to the script?
Oh wait, yep, that's your name right there.
Oh.
Yeah. And we're proud members of the Helios Network, a collection of great podcasts made by regular people.
Yes, you can check out theheliosnetwork.com to see other amazing shows like Master and Debaters.
Yes.
There-
There are 6 episodes.
6
The
episodes
5th episode
in.
is about to come out.
What is it? Hot
dog.
Hard opinions, soft topics.
And this week the episode is Brando is the guest on it.
Oh,
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
oh, that's my episode.
You forgot, didn't you?
Where
You
they
didn't- you
they
didn't
destroy.
remember that
Well,
at
we
all.
recorded it like 2 months ago. they systematically dismantled my worldview, and you can hear me slowly
wow.
going insane throughout
Oh,
the
wow.
episode. Yeah,
You got-
you should check it out. I think it's funny.
Yes.
I thought it was
Yeah.
funny.
Um,
I was hilarious.
Yeah.
before he started crying.
Oh, so next week we do have an episode. We're back. We're fully back.
Yes.
And so we're no more breaks for a while.
We're talking about
House of
the
Dragon.
Yeah.
Which I
Ooh.
cannot wait about. And we have very special guests on.
Yes.
So anyways,
we
we're
have-
just gonna keep going, right?
Yeah.
So that was really awesome.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
What, House of the Dragon?
Yeah, House of the Dragon. So
We're not talking about
like
it
the
now.
end of it though, like that shit was crazy.
It was crazy, yes.
We're going to have the guys on from 20 Sides, and they're awesome. They had a great show.
Like the dice though.
That's
I get it.
that must be where they got the name. All right, well, I'm Brando.
And I'm a butt pirate
And until next time, may
That's
your
true.
week be filled with BS.
and loot
And
and
butt-
booty.
and butt
You
pirates.
went all the way to the end of the episode with that.
I had to as punishment.